Hey there, Space Cadets. Ready for a deep dive into something really cool? We're talking about NASA's Artemis program.
Oh, yeah.
It's their big plan to get humans back on the moon.
This time we're not just visiting, though.
Exactly. We're talking about staying...
A permanent presence.
Yeah, we're going to break it all down
From the powerful rockets.
to how they're going to build a lunar base camp.
It's pretty amazing.
And we'll try to come up with some fun ways to get everyone excited about this new era of space exploration.
Because who isn't at least a little bit curious about space, right?
Right. So, to guide our deep dive,
We're using NASA's official Artemis plan,
it's packed with details and came out in September 2020.
a treasure trove of information about their ambitious goals.
Okay, so first things first. It's been nearly 50 years since we last walked on the moon. It's hard to believe, right? Back then it was the Apollo program.
Yeah,
Now it's Artemis, named after Apollo's twin sister in Greek mythology.
the goddess of the moon.
Pretty fitting, huh?
It really is.
That's a whole new chapter in exploring the moon.
It's about more than just planting a flag this time.
Right.
Pushing the limits
Of what we know,
what we can do.
unlocking the moon's secrets, and using what we learned to go further into space.
Exactly.
And that's where the Artemis architecture comes in,
You can think of it like a multi-stage rocket system.
with some really impressive parts.
Each one has a really important role in getting us to the moon and back.
Okay, so walk us through it.
Well, the foundation is the Space Launch System, or SLS,
Okay.
the most powerful rocket ever built, designed to launch the Orion spacecraft, with all its life support systems, directly to the moon.
Wow.
It's incredible.
And Orion is like a super advanced spaceship, right?
Yeah, a home away from home for astronauts on deep space missions,
So important.
equipped with advanced life support and an emergency abort system.
Gotta be safe.
Especially when you're 250,000 miles away from home.
Absolutely no room for error out there.
Nope.
And then there's the Human Landing System, or HLS.
Now this is where things get really exciting. Ooh.
Tell me more.
NASA's partnered with companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin.
Wow.
It's like a modern space race.
I love it.
They're designing and building lunar landers that will take astronauts between lunar orbit and the moon's surface.
Talk about high stakes.
Yeah, and some seriously cool designs in development.
Can't wait to see what they come up with.
Me neither.
But let's not forget the people working behind the scenes, right?
Oh, absolutely.
The Exploration Ground Systems, or EGS.
Those are the unsung heroes.
Yeah, they're working so hard to get everything ready.
Handling everything from assembling the rockets to coordinating the launch and making sure the astronauts return safely.
Such a huge effort.
It takes incredible precision and coordination.
So much attention to detail.
And before they send humans up there.
Right.
NASA is really focusing on testing and minimizing risks.
Makes sense.
Artemis I, an uncrewed mission, is scheduled for launch in 2021.
Okay.
It's going to test Orion's heat shield during re-entry at 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's crazy hot. Half as hot as the sun in.
It's a trial by fire, for sure.
And then there's Artemis II coming up in 2023.
Right. That will be the first crewed mission, a 10-day trip around the moon.
It's going to be amazing, like Apollo 8 for this generation.
It's more than just a sightseeing trip, though.
Yeah.
It's also a chance to make sure the life support systems work perfectly.
Essential for those longer lunar missions.
Exactly.
And then we have the big one, Artemis III.
Aiming to land the first woman and the next man on the moon in 2024.
It's going to be a historic moment, a one-week expedition filled with exploration and scientific discovery.
They're still deciding on the landing site.
Oh, right, yeah.
But scientists are looking for somewhere with lots of sunlight.
For power and stable temperatures.
Right, and good communication with Earth.
Of course.
And they're hoping to land near one of those permanently shadowed craters.
Oh, wow. Why those?
They might have water ice.
Oh, wow.
It'd be a super valuable resource for future lunar settlements.
Imagine using moon resources to make drinking water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel.
That's the goal. Sustainability on another world.
It's incredible. Okay, so we've got our astronauts on the moon.
With high-tech tools, ready for discoveries,
Venturing out onto the lunar surface.
collecting samples, those pieces of the moon's history.
I can't wait to hear what they find out.
I'm either.
They'll be living and working in their ascent vehicle for about a week.
Doing multiple moonwalks and even talking to people back on Earth.
Like a live stream from the moon.
It'll be amazing.
So cool. But this is just the start, right?
Oh, yeah, this is more than just a short visit.
NASA's planning to stay on the moon for the long haul.
And that's where the Lunar Gateway comes in.
The Lunar Gateway.
It's like a space station.
Orbiting the moon.
Yeah, a place for astronauts to stop on their way to and from the moon's surface. A science lab in deep space. and a place to practice for those Mars missions everyone's talking about.
So cool. It's like a stepping stone to even greater adventures.
Exactly.
A dress rehearsal for those epic interplanetary voyages.
We can test new technologies there, study how long space flights affect the human body, and prepare for the challenges of living and working far from Earth.
Wow. The Gateway is proof of how much we want to push the limits.
And it's just one part of NASA's plan for a lasting presence on the moon.
Right. They're also working on the Artemis base camp.
A permanent home for astronauts at the lunar South Pole.
The South Pole. What's special about that spot?
Well, it has areas with almost constant sunlight.
Perfect for solar power.
Exactly. And it's close to those permanently shadowed regions.
Where we might find water ice.
Yes. So we could have water, oxygen, and even rocket fuel right there on the moon.
It would change everything. We wouldn't have to rely on supplies from Earth as much.
It would make living on the moon much more sustainable.
And of course, no lunar base camp would be complete without rovers.
And other vehicles to help the astronauts explore.
Right. Gotta uncover all the moon's secrets.
It's about building a lasting legacy.
Not just visiting, but truly living and working on another world.
I agree.
Okay, so we've covered the basics.
The exciting plans.
Yeah, but here's the big question. Can NASA actually pull this off?
Yeah, is it even possible, especially that 2024 deadline for Artemis III?
It's a tight schedule.
To be honest, even NASA's own reports say it'll be really tough.
No kidding. It's a huge undertaking.
Cutting-edge technology, complex logistics, and, well, hoping that everything goes according to plan.
A lot can go wrong.
The human landing system is a big one.
Yeah, it has to be safe and reliable for crewed missions.
And, of course, they need funding from Congress to keep the program going.
Which is never a guarantee.
And any unexpected problems or delays could push everything back.
So while that 2024 moon landing is exciting,
It's important to remember how complicated and risky this project is.
it's a massive undertaking.
Careful planning, perfect execution, and, well, maybe a little bit of luck from the universe wouldn't hurt.
Fingers crossed. But even if 2024 doesn't happen,
The progress made with Artemis will pave the way for a lasting human presence on the moon.
it's about the long game. Our future as space explorers.
Right.
Which brings us to our next big question. How do we get everyone else as excited about this as we are?
That's a good question.
Yeah, space is cool and all, but how do we make it relevant and exciting for everyone? Not just the space nerds like us.
Yeah, how do we turn this incredible scientific and technological endeavor into something that captures everyone's imaginations?
Exactly. Artemis isn't just about rockets and moonwalks. It's
Yeah.
about reigniting that sense of wonder and discovery that connects us all to the cosmos.
It's about inspiring the next generation of explorers, scientists, and dreamers.
So let's get creative and come up with some out-of-this-world ideas to make Artemis everyone's mission.
Okay, I like it. Let's brainstorm. Yeah, it's all about sparking that curiosity, that feeling of awe and wonder we get when we look up at the night sky.
I know, right?
Reh,
Like, what if we could give people a taste of what it's actually like?
to be there.
Yeah. To walk on the moon.
Wow.
Experience those first steps alongside the Artemis astronauts.
I think virtual reality could be a game changer for that.
Oh, yeah.
Put on a headset and boom, you're on the lunar surface looking back at Earth, exploring this amazing alien landscape.
That would be incredible. So immersive.
Totally.
What if we could take it even further? Instead of just watching, what if people could actually be part of the Artemis mission, even from Earth?
I like that. We could have interactive simulations and games.
Oh, yeah.
People could design their own lunar habitats, plan missions, even drive a virtual rover around the moon.
That's such a good idea. It's about making space exploration accessible to everyone,
For sure.
no matter who they are or where they come from.
And you know what else would be cool?
What?
Citizen science projects.
Oh, tell me more.
We could get people involved in analyzing real data from the lunar missions,
Wow.
contributing to actual scientific discoveries.
That is brilliant. Everyday people helping scientists unlock the secrets of the moon.
Exactly.
It would make everyone feel like they're a part of this huge adventure.
I think so too. And maybe we could even have global art and storytelling contests.
Oh, I love that.
Inspiring the next generation of space explorers through art, music, and stories about the wonder of Artemis.
Yes. Let's use creativity and imagination to fuel our exploration of the cosmos.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away brainstorming,
Right.
we got to remember that Artemis is based on serious scientific research.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about sending people back to the moon.
It's about understanding the universe better.
So, by studying the moon, we can learn about our own planet's history.
You got it.
Wow.
And by looking at the lunar ice, we can figure out where water on Earth came from
Oh, yeah.
and maybe even learn about water on other planets.
Fascinating.
And because the moon doesn't have an atmosphere,
Yeah.
it's a perfect spot for astronomical observations.
Can you imagine how clear the night sky would be from the moon's surface?
Unbelievable, right?
We could build telescopes to see deep into the universe,
Yeah.
learn about distant galaxies, and even study the cosmic microwave background radiation.
It would be like having a front row seat to the entire cosmic show.
Wow. And let's not forget about the practical benefits of this research, like studying how long space flights affect the human body.
So important.
It would help us prepare for safer and more sustainable missions to Mars and beyond.
Absolutely.
The moon's like a giant testing ground for human resilience and ingenuity.
Exactly.
A huge leap forward in understanding our own bodies and how we adapt to extreme environments.
And by learning to use moon resources like water ice,
Yeah.
we can make space exploration more sustainable, rely less on Earth, and go on even bolder and longer missions.
It's like we're establishing a permanent foothold in space.
A gateway to the cosmos.
I love it. It sounds like science fiction coming to life.
It does, doesn't it? And all these advancements could benefit us here on Earth, too.
How so?
Well, technologies we develop for space exploration often end up being used in fields like medicine, material science, and renewable energy.
It's a win-win situation, pushing the boundaries of what's possible while also making life better here on our own planet. It's incredible to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
And one of the most exciting things about Artemis is the global collaboration.
I agree.
It's not just a U.S. mission. It involves nations coming together to achieve a common goal.
I think it's a big step forward for space diplomacy, showing what we can accomplish when we work together towards a shared purpose.
Absolutely. And NASA has also developed the Artemis Accords.
A set of principles for peaceful and cooperative exploration in space.
Right, encouraging transparency, compatibility between systems, and the sharing of scientific data.
It's about creating a sustainable and inclusive future in space for everyone.
Recognizing that we're all part of this incredible journey together, exploring the cosmos as one.
I love that.
But let's not forget about the human side of things. Who are the brave people going back to the moon?
Well, NASA has an amazing group of astronauts.
Oh yeah, they're highly trained and ready for the challenges of Artemis.
And they're not just pilots and engineers, they come from all kinds of backgrounds.
Right, scientists, doctors, geologists, and more.
They represent the very best of humanity. Our thirst for knowledge, our spirit of adventure, and our drive to push the limits.
They're the pioneers of a new era, paving the way for future generations to follow in their footsteps.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about the science, the technology, the global teamwork, and the amazing individuals making this journey happen.
Yeah.
But we can't ignore the big question, that 2024 deadline.
Ah, yes. The question of whether it's actually possible.
We talked about it earlier.
It's a really ambitious goal, even for NASA.
Developing the human landing system is so important.
And any delays or technical issues could push the timeline back.
Not to mention the funding from Congress.
It's a big investment, and they need continued support to keep the program going.
And space is unpredictable.
There are always unforeseen challenges when you're pushing the limits of exploration.
It can be a harsh and unforgiving environment, and setbacks are always a possibility.
But even with all those challenges, I'm optimistic.
Me too.
The urge to explore is part of who we are as humans.
We've always been driven to push beyond what we know,
It's in our nature.
and Artemis is proof of that enduring spirit.
Setting big goals and inspiring generations to come.
It's about writing the next chapter in the human story.
A story of exploration, discovery, and pushing the limits of what's possible.
And that story, my friends, is just beginning.
Mm.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground,
The tech, the timelines, the science.
even a bit of the politics.
It's all connected.
But as we wrap up our deep dive into Artemis,
Yeah.
I want to bring it back to you, our listener.
I like that. Make it personal.
Because Artemis isn't just about sending a few lucky people to the moon.
It's about reigniting that sense of wonder in all of us.
That feeling of exploration.
We all have it inside us.
So imagine for a second
Okay.
that it's you strapping into that Orion capsule.
Wow.
You feel the rumble of the SLS as it blasts off.
Incredible.
You're on your way to the moon. What's driving you? What do you want to discover on the lunar surface?
What will your contribution be to this new chapter in human history?
Because Artemis is about so much more than just getting to the moon.
It's about pushing the boundaries of what we know, what we're capable of, and what we can imagine.
It's about rekindling that spirit of discovery, that sense of wonder that connects us all to the cosmos.
And that journey, that spirit of exploration, it starts right here, right now, with each of us.
So true.
Keep looking up at the night sky, dream big, and never stop exploring.
Who knows what incredible discoveries are waiting for us out there?
I can't wait to find out.
This has been The Deep Dive,
Thanks for joining us.
as we explored Artemis, back to the moon and beyond.